courts are a joke because of a divorce proceeding he'd had. Didn't even say the judge's name, but if he would have, it would have been okay. They had him arrested. Now, the judge got in trouble later, but it shows they're delusional. You're telling me because a family was reportedly poaching that the judge said in the neighborhood, in the town, in the county, where he said a global. When they say global, that means everywhere in his jurisdiction. When a judge says global, that means their jurisdiction. You're telling me that he said no firearms discharged where?
Within this subdivision that I live at, and it was a female judge. And,
but hold on, you're in the. But hold on, is there a county law? Are you in the county? And is there a county law against discharging firearms?
No, sir.
Well, that's
no,
sir. You should contact the newspapers. That is so. Let me get this straight. Somebody said a family was hunting deer for food, or I mean, tell me the whole story.
Yes, sir. What they did, they found some deer. They had found one deer, an axis deer, and a white-tailed deer. And what the white-tailed deer was close to our property. There's like 50-foot leeway, and it had an arrow in it. And
so because somebody is shooting a foreign exotic deer, which the game wardens have no jurisdiction over, and because a whitetail was shot, what does that have to do with any of you? I mean, again, that's what they do now. Oh, a guy tried to blow up a plane with underwear. We're going to record all your naked bodies with body scanners now. Oh, yeah. I mean, again, so some deer got.
I just, Alex, I told the members on this board where I live, I said, well, doesn't state law, castle law, overrule district law as far as discharging a firearm? If there's a rabid animal or a snake, I have a right to shoot it if my wife is going out to hang clothes. And they said, well, yeah, that's true, but, you know, and I said, but no, it's state law. Castle law says I have a right to protect my property and or my person. And then they wanted to argue it, but the judge in the county said that it was global, that no discharging of firearms is now implemented by the board out here and by the district judge. And the game warden said, I said, well, what am I supposed to do? And he goes, well, the game warden answered and replied, well, you're in a catch-22. So I got to call a game warden that covers 2 counties here in Texas to come kill a rattlesnake.
Now, let me stop you, and I appreciate your call. You've got a big problem, and you should write it up, post it on the web somewhere. Look, take Freestone County, where my dad's got some family property going back to Mexican land grants. It's one thing to say you can't shoot a little rack or you can't shoot a big giant rack. They will arrest you, take your car, take your rifles in Freestone County. They're doing this in many other counties. There's plenty of deer. The deer are everywhere. Giant deer, little deer, you know, everything. They've got what they call, I guess, the abnormal ones that have the giant racks. And they're saying you can't shoot something if it doesn't have a certain spread, which nobody can measure, or if it's a 4-point, you can't shoot it, but if it's a 3-point, you can. And there's just no way for people to know. Most of that deer hunting out there is done in brush. That's where the good deer are. They're smart and don't come out during deer season, except at night. So you got to hunt in brush, and a lot of times you can see some big antlers and, take your shot. And then they're not even, they're trying to restrict doe permits for people to see. The power to tax is the power to destroy. A permit is an authorization to do something that's illegal. So they turn your right into a privilege. It's like 60-something years ago. I forget the exact date. It was in the 40s. New York City said, you still got your Second Amendment. You got to pay this, $5 licensing fee. It's a formality. People accepted that. A decade later or so, they said, okay, now you got to pay a big fee. It's bigger. And we're going to restrict who gets it. Until now, only a few hundred people have got firearms permits, and they're basically all mafia or corrupt Goldman Sachs employees. That was even in the Bloomberg a few weeks ago. They're all getting gun permits. So that's how they turn a right into a privilege. That's why I'm against concealed carry permits. You have a gun permit in Texas and Nevada and Arizona and Vermont under the Second Amendment. The state hasn't abridged it. But because under common law, concealed weapons are illegal. It's bearing arms, keep and bear arms. Good guys have them out in the open. So they're creating the custom and the general idea that you got to have a permit to own a gun. And all these Hollywood shows and cop shows based in New York and other places always show them busting people in fiction and nonfiction shows in New York or Chicago. And so you get a repair person at your house, they see a gun case, they go out and call the cops because they move here from New York or wherever, they think your guns are illegal. I've had this happen to me, okay, because people are so dumbed down. They have so the perception that guns are illegal is now out there. How many billboards have you seen the last decade? More than a decade. I've seen the same variant, federally funded, the ad council with your tax money, billboards all over the country. I've been in Galveston, Texas. I've been in Dallas, Texas. I've been in Los Angeles, California. I've been in Chicago. I've been in Florida. I have been all over the country, not even looking for these, and I see them. And it shows a billboard, and it says, report illegal guns. And it's a picture or a graphic of a handgun pointed at you aggressively. It'll have the front cylinder with the bullets in it and the barrel aimed at you threateningly. It's all psychological. Or it'll have the gun turned sideways with a guy with a mask on. The image is criminals have guns. I've seen several different variants. You've seen them on the web. I've posted photos I took myself in Galveston. And in tiny fine print, you got to get right up under the billboard. I got 20/20 vision. You got to squint to read it. It says with an asterisk, when a gun is involved in illegal activity or in a crime. But the big message is report illegal guns. It's all about perception. I have distant family and people that have been at my house and who have seen a Nerf gun. I mean, it's great. We run around the backyard, the front yard, neighborhood kids have them. We have big Nerf battles. In fact, I plan to try to go home earlier today. My son's Nerf gun broke. You know, the planned obsolescence, they break usually in a few months. So I'm going to go buy him and my daughter, because hers I'm sure will break soon, a new Nerf gun and some new Nerf bullets. We're going to go have a Nerf battle. Now, so-called liberal parents think that a gun in the hands of the citizens, even a toy gun, is a devilish, evil weapon. They're scared to death of it. I've told the story one time of a well-known newspaper writer, now a magazine writer, at my parents' house. I was in college, and the big gun case, I didn't keep my guns at home then. I went home to get a deer rifle. I pull up, say hi to him. I go in my parents' bedroom, do the combination, get a deer rifle out. There in the kitchen, he sees me walking by the doorway with a gun, and I hear like a shriek. And he says, is that a gun? And he starts getting up. He's all scared, white-faced. And I walk in, and I say, don't worry, it's .243 for small deer in Texas. It's unloaded. I opened it up. Lever action, Savage, first deer rifle my dad got back in the 50s. I said, look, this is, and he was, get out of here, please, get out of here. And he's not like what you think of as a cowardly person. He has imperial conditioning to be scared to death of a slave with a gun. Now, he sees cops, SWAT teams, dogs, helicopters, troops. He feels good. He sees a slave with a gun. He gets scared. And he said, please, just get out of here, please, please. And I left. But I've seen people, I've seen family where my kids are going bang, bang, playing outside at a family event, and they get scared to death of that and act like some great offense has been committed. That is imperial conditioning. We are turning into a domesticated jellyfish population that is being gelded. Now the kids can't play dodgeball. Then they can't play tag. Then they can't wrestle. Then they can't run. Most school districts have banned it. Now they can't even walk fast. Now some say they can't talk. They can't hug. They can't shake hands. They are the equivalent of Supermax prisoners. Now on the airplanes, you can't talk the last hour. You have to look straight forward. You can't cover your knees with a blanket. You may be a terrorist. You can have no electronic device, all because of some guy with a firecracker in his underwear. This is the domestication scientifically to train us to be defenseless and to be gelded and to be weak. So go out and take physical jiu-jitsu or taekwondo or whatever it is you like. Go take a boxing class.